Well, I probably have a very unique perception of Elton because in Kingsman, The Golden Circle, I directed him, and I sort of directed him playing Elton, so the heightened version of Elton, and I got to know him extremely well as this sort of incredibly talented but incredibly sweet and gentle man who can perform on command, and and he became a friend. Him and his husband David were very, very what's the word, supportive of Kingsman, and Elton, to ask Elton to dress up in a chicken suit and to swear and go crazy on camera. Not many people would be willing to risk being ridiculed for being silly, but he didn't mind, so he was great. So I first discovered his music in the 70s as a boy, and I can really remember hearing your song first time I heard it, and knowing it was. I mean, I love music, and it was one of the reasons I did this film. Is I've been desperate to start making musicals, and I just remember your song was such a unique voice from the lyrics. It's one of the few. I mean, I'm not really into lyrics, and it's one of the few songs I knew the lyrics to immediately and listened to the lyrics, and they made sense to me. But the way Elton sung, the composition, everything about your song hit me hard as a kid. I love music. I wanted to be a musician. So, and if you look at my films as a director, I've heavily musically influenced and putting picture to music and cutting it so they merge together. So, and I've just been trying to find the right thing. When you do a musical, it's got to have great music. So, my problem has been trying to find a musical where the music is the best thing about it, and then we build everything else around the music. So when Rocketman came along, the music box was firmly ticked. I politely said I'll read it, and it was brilliant. I mean, I from page one. I mean, Lee Hall had done this magnificent job of creating a musical which isn't really a musical, a biopic that's not a biopic, a fantasy that's based in reality, and a reality that's based in fantasy. So I said, okay, I'll start putting the whole thing together, looking at the rights, and I said, look, let's team up and get this film made immediately. And at that point, Dexter and I were trying to find a project to do together. I knew Taron, and Taron could sing. I knew Taron could sing beautifully, and Taron's audition piece for RADA was singing your song. So there was a connection there, and I just looked at the dots. So I sat with David and said, look, David, if this was me in charge, I'd put Taron in, hire Dexter, and then we teamed up, and it's been a good partnership. I've been friends with for years is Giles Martin, and I actually went to school with him, so I've really known him a long time. And I just felt, I did a lot of record producers are just maniacs, and I wanted someone that would be respectful to Elton, but also respectful to the movie and to Dexter and to me, and basically know how to bridge all the needs. And Giles is a very sensitive, great guy who I knew would be able to do that, as well as musically brilliant. And I rang Elton up saying, what do you think of Giles Martin, sort of like this, and it turned out they'd virtually lived together when he was a kid, and he loved Giles. So it was a perfect sort of, again, like lots of different egos coming together, but enhancing each other's job and trusting each other and working together creatively. I think Dexter creates an atmosphere where Taron feels safe and will go to places which, on this movie, were really pushing the boundaries for Taron as an actor. And I think because of Dexter, Taron smashed through the boundaries and came out alive. Primarily, he's a fantastic singer. So I think to play Elton John, you've got to be able to sing. I think he's a very vulnerable and sensitive, which Elton is. He's also very opinionated in a good way, which Elton is. And so he had all the tools for playing Elton John, and I'm instinctive about casting. I've never had a problem casting movies in the sense that you just know if someone walks through the door, you know if they're right for the role within 3 seconds. And he when I read the script, all I could see was Taron. So and that's my instinct, and it's paid off. Bernie is the lyricist for Elton. He's written 90%, I think, or even more. They're just, I think, one of the most rare examples of a team in the crazy business of the music industry that have stuck together through thick and thin, that love each other, and when they get, and they write. I mean, they write songs and they're never even in the same room. I mean, it's the most unique relationship I think I've ever come across. The idea that he just sends lyrics to Elton and Elton just writes music to it. Not really. It's unique, and probably why it's so special. But I think it's hard to replicate. What's good about Jamie in this is another actors could have made him this, like, oh, I love you, Elton, I'm going to protect you, Elton, and you start going, oh, whatever. So there was a warmth and but stern and just believability. I mean, all the actors in this, they've just nailed it. It's been a delight to watch. When he auditioned, none of us really knew who he was. I think he's in Game of Thrones, so I hadn't watched it. But so I blindly was going through the tapes, and I was like, wow, this guy's definitely got something. And so then Dexter liked it as well, and Elton, and so he really got it as a merit as an actor. And then halfway through the movie, The Bodyguard came out, and everyone was, something sort of exploded. The mother is in the script and in Elton's life is a pivotal character who sort of, I think, loved Elton, but also hurt Elton, and that's a really tough thing to pull off. And the English actresses we were auditioning just couldn't do it. They could either do horrible or they could do mumsy, but they couldn't combine the two things. And I've always thought Bryce was a fantastic actress, and I remember talking to her on the phone about the role, and she definitely understood, maybe because she's from Hollywood and seen these famous people's parents. So it's such an odd dynamic of love but needing money and wanting them to work harder for the wrong reasons, and it's a very funky dynamic to capture on film, and I think Bryce totally nailed it. I just think she's a very good. She's just a brilliant actress. So she was right for the role, but she has that warmth that Elton loved his grandmother more than anyone, and Gemma exudes that English. You just believe that she's that grandmother that would do anything for her grandkid.